Thank you for your time, Jango.
Always a pleasure to meet a Jedi.
What is it, Dad?
Pack your things. We're leaving.
Dear black men, thank you for being everything a black woman needs. We love you, black men.
Black men, I love how you provide and are a pillar for your family. We love you.
Black men, I love how you care for black women. I love you, black men.
Thank you for leading and uplifting even when the world tries to break you. I love you, black men.
Majority of black men are obsessed with seeing black women struggle. They do not feel like you're worthy or that you are worth anything until you struggle, because they have seen their black mothers struggle for their entire lives. I just left Ashley Janae's Instagram page. When I tell you, the comments were so gut-wrenching and disturbing to even read. The whole comment section is full of black men saying, ha ha, that's what y'all get. Y'all said go where you're loved, right? They're literally bashing this young lady that passed away. They are calling black women every word in the book on there. And the saddest part about it all is the fact that there are white men in the comment sections literally proving our point when it comes to black men, saying, well, she's damned if she do, damned if she don't, because look at how y'all are even reacting to the fact that this black woman decided to go where she felt like she was loved at.
Strangely enough, in the span of 2 days, black men went from catching strays from the Ashley Janaya situation to...
Now I want y'all to know that these problematic black men that talk bad about black women every day still haven't said nothing about the Justin Fairfax situation of him unaliving his wife and then himself. All right? And how their kids will be forever traumatized because of that. They haven't said nothing. You know why? Because black men don't care about black femicide. Okay? They never call out stuff like that. They don't want to. But when it comes to a quote-unquote divester who's a black woman losing her life to her white man, allegedly, because that has not been confirmed, right? You know, they ruled it a self-deletion, right? So we cannot say that he did it. Okay? They'll be quick to talk about that. But see, there's a black woman getting unalived by a black man every day, and these same dudes don't have nothing to say because they don't care. They don't care. They don't care about the safety of black women. I just want y'all to notice that.
I'll say a disclaimer just because it's necessary. In no way, shape, or form do I condone what Justin Fairfax did. It was cowardly. This is apropos headline. He cost him and his wife the prize of watching his children grow up into adults. And he cost his children the ultimate prize of having a loving mother and father for the rest of their lives. And their lives will be forever changed because of it. But the fall of Justin Fairfax will be one that will be studied in the history books. He was lieutenant governor on the verge of becoming governor of Virginia, the home of Robert E. Lee, the strongest state of the Confederacy. He was bound as an African descendant of slaves to become the governor of such a state that it's almost unbelievable that it was even possible. And he goes from the precipice of having the highest office of the land, in Virginia, of course, to not being able to get a job and having his wife install cameras in the house, kick him out of the house, demand a divorce, and on the verge of never really being able to see his children. Talk about a fall from grace.
This lady sent her story to one influencer on Instagram, and basically she said her husband is amazing, her husband is nice, very supportive. They've had a great marriage for the past 5 years. Her husband was taking care of everything.
I work with a lot of brothers, that often say, man, she's going through this and she went through that, but brother, I was in it too.
Yeah.
Honey just said something. Listen, she said the divorce rate for black men doesn't improve when compared to white women. So you think black men are the problem? Well, let me tell you what, if they are, it is because black men already have so much weight that they carry on their back.
She said 1 month within the new year, she noticed the dynamics change. Like her husband was, he was kind of moody. He was not acting the way he was acting. Like she noticed that something was different or off in their relationship. And she went to him and she's like, hey, honey, you can talk to me. You can tell me how it is. Like speak to me. I'm your partner. We're going through this journey of life together. Your problem is my problem. First time she said it, husband said, no, I'm fine. I can do it. She kept bothering him until she wore him down, I think after 2 weeks.
Yeah. Absolutely. And there's a lot of men who, we got big shoulders for a reason, and that rightly so. We're supposed to put ourselves second.
And they need a safe place to land, and they need to be able to be vulnerable, and they need to be able to express themselves. And quite frankly, as sisters, y'all, we failed our men.
And the husband broke down. Like, he literally broke down. Like, he cried and he confided to her, like, hey, things are not going at work. My boss is on me. The stress is like, I always have to deliver something. Like, he was like, my head is exploding. Like, she was like, after that, the husband actually felt a bit of relief. She said she could see it.
We're supposed to put ourselves second. I think in a lot of the cases, of course, because our children, our wives, especially our wives, I say their superhero quality, their superpower is love and nurturing.
But she started to view her husband in different lights. Why? She said she put up her husband on this pedestal, and after that sharing, or after he was able to unburden to her, she looked at him differently. Now she feels her marriage is going south.
Baba, Rudet Sohi.
According to court documents obtained by News 4, Serena Fairfax filed for divorce from Justin in 2025. Just last month, the Fairfax County judge granted custody of the children to Serena and ordered Justin to move out of the home by the end of April. In the custody opinion, a judge wrote, quote, "The wife testified that heavy daily alcohol consumption by the father has become the norm." The court documents say Justin Fairfax spiraled into alcoholism and isolated himself from family involvement following the 2019 sexual assault allegations against him while he was in office. Allegations he denied, but still weighed on him tremendously, the judge wrote. During the custody battle, the judge also found, quote, "The evidence also showed that in 2022, the father purchased a handgun with money intended for his children's horseback riding lessons." During the divorce proceedings, Serena Fairfax installed cameras throughout the family's home, according to police. Police say those cameras were rolling last night, just like they were back in January when Justin called police to claim that Serena had assaulted him.
We reviewed those cameras and we corroborated that the alleged assault never occurred.
Court documents show evidence that Serena Fairfax was actively involved in her children's lives, finding no evidence that Serena ever engaged in inappropriate conduct and maintained great relationships with the two kids. The court found, however, that Justin was currently unable to have a healthy relationship with his kids due to his alcohol use and self-isolation within the home.
This is not just about mental health or psychology. You are seeing entitlement. You are seeing dominance. You are seeing emotional dysregulation.
Yeah. If you have a mental break, that's called emotional dysregulation, baby, by definition.
Yeah. You are seeing learned ideas about power and control and harm. Stop reducing things to a message such as this is what depression looks like. First of all, you don't even know if this person has depression.
He was drinking.
It's just a catch-all when
he was depressed. Okay, it was obvious he was depressed.
It was in the divorce paper. He was drinking and depressed.
He was drinking and depressed. He was depressed.
You're like, oh well, it must have been mental health. No, it couldn't have just been the way that we that individuals lionize power and dominance in in a specific gender. The message is about letting people get off when harming others and they don't get held accountable. It couldn't be the fact that we tell individuals it's more important to be dominant and powerful than be rejected and act accordingly. It couldn't be that. No, it's depression.
Sometimes it is.
I'll say this again for anyone that did not see the first time that I said it early in this video. Under no way, shape, or form do I condone what Justin Fairfax did. It was selfish, and he robbed his wife of the ability to see their children grow into adults. And he certainly robbed his children of a normal childhood and adolescence. And their lives will forever be changed because of his selfishness. But the question no one's really asking about is what happened between the time that he was on the doorstep of becoming governor of Virginia to now this tragic action. I mean, you're a heartbeat away from the highest office of the state of Virginia, home of Robert E. Lee and the biggest state of the Confederacy, to essentially a couple of allegations and your wife installing cameras to build a child support case against you, to getting full custody of the two kids, and essentially the law saying you need to be out of this house by the end of the month. Go live in your car. That is a very real situation for many men when you consider marriage. That is how many marriages end. I'm not saying the way he chose to leave was grounded. Of course it wasn't. But that's what happens when someone that has mental health issues, which black men apparently aren't really allowed to have, gets pushed into a corner. Day after day, we see men in situations where they know they're going to have to fight to see their children, and they're getting pushed out of the house, and they know that they're going to have some kind of financial obligation, and essentially you're used up, you don't have any purpose here, get out, go live in your car, good luck to yourself. And that is not a very attractive proposition for men who are essentially told when you have difficulties,
she's going through this and she went through that, but brother, I was in it too.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of men who, we got big shoulders for a reason, and that rightly so. We're supposed to put ourselves second.
It's called the custody of infants, man. Caroline Norton. Okay.
Okay.
It's called the family court. Okay. The mother is presumed to be the proper parent for the last 200 years. Laws, especially this one. Why do you think the family court is separate from all the other courts? Because it's not part of the courts. It's the court of chancery. It's the court outside of the regular judicial system.
Yeah, it's really simple.
Ded said, as she brought that up, the custody of infants to the judges, and they said, yeah, that's what we go by. We've been going by for years, so that's why I brought it up. So we're just now getting presumed 50-50 custody right now, okay, over the last 10 years because of the manosphere.
Get on board.
With weekends like this, it's a virtual certainty that we're going to have another flare-up of the clone wars, the gender wars, and many young ladies are going to say that black men aren't up to snuff, that we aren't making enough money, that we're trying to be oppressive patriarchs, that we are failing the black community, that black women are carrying the black community and they need help, and black men marry out and still get divorced more than they do when they marry black women, all of the tropes that we hear over and over and over again. But one thing that I've been thinking about, I was watching episode 2 of Star Wars recently. I was doing it for studying. And I thought about the Jango Fett, Boba Fett relationship, where if you understand the story, basically he's a clone of his father, but all of the other clone troopers are clones of Jango. So essentially Jango said, give me one clone trooper that's a clone of myself, but I want to raise him as my son at human speed. So essentially, he has full autonomy over his son, Bubba. And so when he says,
pack your things, we're leaving,
there's not a person in the Star Wars universe or otherwise that can stop him from taking his son and going wherever he needs to go to do whatever he needs to do. And so in this new age where the ideal family has kind of broken down and we're in this kind of new soup that's part traditional and part not, young ladies can have a child anytime they want, with whom they want, and start a family very easily. But one thing that has not happened is that it has not been very easy for men to start a family without a woman legally involved. And so any day that woman wakes up and says, you know what, I'm leaving, I'm taking the kids, that man is forced with a decision of, I have to drain my resources in order to have a chance at maybe having some control over my children's life, or I just separate myself from all of it. And that's how you get men changing behavior like we've never seen before.
I feel like I'm very temporary. I'm not worth keeping. I've never received anything from him to make me think that I'm worth keeping.
Why do you feel temporary?
He keeps his things packed in a duffel bag instead of, put out with the rest of the clothes or in the dresses or whatever.
Do you keep your clothes in a duffel bag?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't let yourself get attached to anything you are not willing to walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat around the corner.
And the purpose of that would be what?
Wait for her to kick me out.
Now, are you waiting for her to kick you out, or are you reminding her that you can leave at a moment's notice? Which is it?
Both. I say both.
That's deep.
I'll say it again for the internet because I know how things are. In no way, shape, or form do I condone the behavior of Justin Fairfax. What he did was selfish, and some way or another, either via God or the spirits, his behavior will be rectified, I'm hoping. but we don't really consider where a man might find himself if he wakes up on a certain day being told you've lost your job, you're having difficulty finding income, your wife says she doesn't need you anymore, she's telling you to get out, she has full custody of the kids, you need to go live in your car, and oh, by the way, you want to go fight for your kids, good luck, because the judge has already granted her custody, so the best you're going to get is maybe a couple of weekends a month if you're lucky. We don't really consider that all of the resources that are to bear for young single mothers are basically part of society. That when a woman leaves with her kids, there's help from churches, from the state, from new men that she might date that will gladly surrender resources to help her get on her feet. But it's so rare for a man to be a single father that we make movies about it, because some people seem to believe that a man wouldn't be a good father, I guess. And so when you have that kind of story, you celebrate it. The modern assumption for family is that if the family breaks down, the man must have done something wrong. And if the woman leaves with the children, then she has every right to not just take the children, but forbid the children from having a father in their life. That's one thing if you don't really care about what happens to your children. But what happens if you do care? What happens if a couple of accusations and you losing your job leads to you not being able to be the provider that you used to be? You stood in front of a church and said, for better or for worse, sickness and health, for richer or for poor, and you are finding out, no, it's under condition that you continue to provide, and she still wants you in the life of her and those children. If you're a man and you've ever stood in a legal office trying to find a way to legally gain access to your child while a woman on the other side is saying he's abusive, he is not a good father, he's an alcoholic, he's all of these bad things, and not only that, but she installed cameras inside of your house together to build a case against you, the answer to that is not telling men you need to man up and do what a man is supposed to do, because what a man is supposed to do keeps changing on a daily basis. And so this is a man who was backed into a corner and did something that was heinous, and he should be reprimanded for it. But if you're a man put in that position and you want to see your kids, what do? If that woman is going around telling everyone that you're abusive, you're terrible, you are abusing substances, the kids don't need you in their lives, and you have to start from the basis of, I got to fight for a weekend a month, then you're going to start changing the way that you behave. And part of that is not going to dating events, not asking women out, not being forthcoming when you're out in the street. As a matter of fact, you're looking for ways to avoid women. And when you do get into a relationship with women, you're thinking about, I'm going to make sure that I have the freedom to leave at any point, because she will get rid of me the minute she feels that she doesn't need me anymore. That's the new math. And we can point to this one particular situation and say he's a terrible man. And yes, he fits that classification under this crime. But before he did what he did, he was faced with, go live in a car and you can't see your kids. How is a man supposed to deal with that? Well, he's going to say, stay away from me, women. I don't want to have sex with you. I don't want to date you. I don't want to provide resources for you. And if I do have a child, I want to do it by myself. Like Jango Fett. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care, guys.